I'm in a hospital. We're on vacation. I started bleeding. I'm like 7 weeks pregnant right now, and I started bleeding earlier today. And so I came in and I got checked, and apparently all's good, but I have to stay for the night. This is the first night I've ever not been with my son, and it feels so weird, and I just want to go home. But yeah, that's the hospital. So yeah, I don't know what to say. That's basically all. I'm tired and I'm so scared. So yeah, I hope it'll all be good tomorrow. That's all for now. Hi everybody. I was just drinking a cup of coffee, kind of reflecting on the past couple of weeks, and I figured this is a good opportunity to kind of update you on my pregnancy. So where do I even start? I had another appointment with my doctor after the whole hospital thing last Friday. So it's been like 2-3 weeks almost since I stayed in the hospital. I ended up staying the night, and then they wanted me to stay another night, but we were on vacation and my son was with my husband and they didn't have the car and everything, and I was feeling actually pretty good. And like, it was so weird because the doctor, she was like, I think you're good to go. And then like the head doctor came in, he was like, no, just for safety, we would like you to stay another night. And I was just like, I'm not gonna do that. I'll be back if anything happens. Because, and I know that this is really sad, and I can just assure you that my biggest fear the past couple of weeks definitely has been that there could be anything happening with the baby. But the doctor also told me that if something happened, there's most likely nothing that they can do. However, in the hospital, they never really found out what caused the bleeding in the first place. So last Friday, I went to my gynecologist. She's the best. She's, I have known her for 20 years. I went to kindergarten with her sons. We're still kind of friends, but she's the best. I still drive back to my hometown, which is like an hour train drive, just to be, which is like an hour on the train, just because I like her so much. She's like a great doctor. The people working there, the midwives, they're all so amazing. And so, yeah, I went there and she was like, oh, I can actually see what caused the bleeding, and I'm kind of confused as to why they didn't find that out in the hospital. So basically there's a hematoma on my uterus, which can be bad, but doesn't mean to. So she said it isn't as big, and most likely it'll all be fine. There is a chance that it'll grow, and if that happens, there's a high chance of me losing this baby. So I'm not supposed to do any physical activity right now. I'm trying to not do as much. Yeah, I'm like 10 weeks pregnant right now, and I'm really, really afraid. My next appointment is in 4 weeks, 3.5 now. I'm just truly hoping for the best, if I'm being honest. I don't want to think about what could happen, just because I know it's going to tear me apart. Yeah, I just wanted to say I'm doing okay, doing a lot better. The whole like hematoma thing is, it is weighing down on me, honestly, but I'm trying to be positive. Yeah, I don't even know with these videos that I'm taking right now, because they're all over the place. I don't even know if they will ever end up in an actual video. It is just for me. It helps me to talk about things. It kind of helps me feel better about this, because we haven't told a lot of people about the pregnancy yet. So this just really helps. So yeah, I don't know whether you will ever see this or not, but if you're seeing this, I hope you have a good day. I have such a bad pregnancy brain. This pregnancy, I feel like last pregnancy, I was super exhausted all the time. I was this pregnancy too. And I don't know what it is, but this pregnancy, I forget about everything. I just wanted to take like a couple of pictures, because I got a couple of new clothes, like this funky little blouse. I'm currently like mainly getting clothes that I feel like I can also wear while pregnant. Okay, this is quite different. My camera battery died, so I figured I'd just record on the phone, because this vlog's gonna be all over the place anyway. I feel like, can you see it? Can you not see it? I feel like it really depends. I was wearing like a white dress earlier. I felt like you could kind of see it. I'm exactly 13 weeks today. But yeah, just a quick little update. Still in my favorite skirt. So far everything still like fits me really well and I'm feeling great. I have to say the fatigue part and the throwing up part pretty much gone. I still have a lot of food aversions. There are a lot of foods I just cannot eat at all right now. But generally I'm feeling a lot better. I will see you tomorrow actually because I want to take you along to my appointment. We'll see. I'm just honestly excited so far. Feeling a lot better. Still pretty anxious about the appointment tomorrow. The only thing that is like kind of keeping me a little more content is the fact that I didn't have any more bleedings, and I also feel like I can feel changes in my body. So if you've been pregnant before, you know that like before your bump starts growing, it starts to kind of like change its feel. So usually your tummy is like rather soft. I can feel that it is very firm down here, which is like where the baby starts growing. So yeah, I hope everything is fine. We'll see tomorrow. Yeah, I'll take you along and we'll see. Hello and good morning, everyone. There was a rat. I don't think you saw it. There was a little rat. It was kind of cute. This is our local train station, by the way. It is like pretty run down. I think people are living in this building now. I think it used to be like a big station, but it isn't anymore. And it is weird. There are mice and like rats everywhere. It's kind of weird because there are tracks right here and then there are tracks behind that. And I am unsure where I have to go. So let's see, because sometimes the train departs here, sometimes it departs all the way over there. So how am I supposed to know? Said that it leaves from platform 2J. Okay, I just need to show you this. Who's supposed to see that tiny little sign? 2J. Okay, it's over there. I'm gonna wait here. It was a hectic little morning, but I'm wearing something I feel quite cozy in. I'm wearing my little fur jacket. Got it from my grandma. I will not buy new fur, but I will use the fur that is already been made. This dress that I recently got by the chain design and love. Some tights that are just orange, and then my new black boots. So yeah, I'm gonna wait here. It's actually quite chilly. It's like 9 a.m. right now, and I haven't had time to have food yet this morning. So I packed myself a little yogurt and I made myself a chai and forgot it at home. So I'm like a little sad. I haven't worn this jacket since last fall, winter, spring. Look what I found. It's a little like charm. I love it. Don't know how to start this. I have been pretty miserable, to say the least, the past couple of days because I'm pretty terrified, if I'm being honest. So I went into the doctor and she like checked for like the issue that caused the bleeding, and she like saw that the hematoma was gone. So I was really excited and really happy. And so then she like did the ultrasound and everything was going nice. And then one of the sudden she said, I don't think there is something here, but I want you to like go to a different facility and get it checked. Because basically the way that I understood it is that she saw something at the neck, and deformities or different like issues with the neck can mean pretty severe disabilities or gene issues. I don't know how to word this in English, and I'm too in my head about this for like going and googling the proper words basically. So yeah, with that kind of like news, I left the doctor's office on Friday, and then I wanted to make an appointment at the hospital where I had my son, because they're really good, and I couldn't reach anyone on Friday, and so I tried like a couple of different places, but nothing was open like Friday noon. So I was like, okay, I have to wait until Monday. And I have been crying every day, and it's not because I'm sad, it's just because I'm so afraid, and I don't really know how to cope with this right now. Also, my husband left for like a work thing yesterday. It's Tuesday today, so I was like home alone with my son, which was kind of nice, but I cannot focus on anything. I couldn't focus on anything these past couple of days because I was so terrified about this. And so yesterday I knew that they would like open at 9, and so I called right at 9. And I called, and you think that this is insane, but I tried calling for like 300 times and no one answered. And so finally I decided to write an email, and they actually got back at me quite quickly for some reason. But they basically were like, this kind of like ultrasound that you need, we have to do this week, and we just don't have the capacity. And so I decided to like call a couple of other clinics, because where we live, because it is like rather on the countryside, there's only like one hospital close by, but there are a couple ones like half an hour away. So I called all of those, and I didn't get an appointment, and I was so terrified. So I like called another place in my hometown, because I've been there with my son. Even though everything was fine in his pregnancy, I just went there for like something different, to like get a specific kind of ultrasound. And they were like, yeah, we cannot do this week either. And so I was so scared, and like I just didn't know what to do anymore, because I've called pretty much every place that would do it within like a 2-hour drive. And so I called my doctor again, my gynecologist, and she's the best. I went to kindergarten with her kids, and I really dearly love her, and like everyone working there is really, really kind. And so I called, and the woman on the phone, I mean, I know her, I've been going to this doctor for a couple of years now. She's a midwife actually, and I was like, I've been trying my best these past couple of days. I've been calling everywhere, no one will give me an appointment, and I'm just terrified, and I just don't know what to do anymore. Because I feel like I need to get this, not only medically, but like for my own mental state, I need to get this checked as soon as possible. And so I actually got really lucky, because they were really nice and understanding, because they're just a great like doctor's office. And then the doctor, she actually walked in, and so we talked on the phone for a moment, and I was like, I don't know what to do anymore. And so she was like, you know what, I'm gonna call like a couple of doctors and clinics that I know, and we will see if we can get you squeezed in somewhere. And so the lovely ladies at like the office, they tried their best, and they called around, and they were able to call me back a couple of hours later with an appointment for tomorrow morning. It is quite far away. So I wanted to leave for my mom's house tomorrow anyways, so we're just leaving tonight. I'm taking my son, I'm like waiting for his bedtime, and then I'm gonna put him in the car and we'll just go. But I don't know what to say and what to think anymore, if I'm being honest. I've been wanting to like tell a couple of people in my life, and I'm I'm so afraid to tell anyone because I don't know what's going to happen. And I don't even know if I'll ever upload this. And so, yeah, I really don't know what to do anymore at this point. I'm so terrified about this appointment because she said she doesn't think that there's anything wrong, but then the urgency with which she wanted me to make that appointment kind of made me think that she just said it for me not to freak out about it. And I'm very nervous and very terrified. I don't want to let my mind go to a place of what if, because I just want to be positive about this, and I really hope it'll all clear up tomorrow, but I don't know. And I just realized how anxious I've been this entire pregnancy, basically the past 13 weeks or something, because I feel like whenever I have an appointment, something pops up. There's always something that they're like, oh, we need to monitor this closely. We need to make sure that this doesn't happen. There's always something that could go wrong. There's always something that it keeps me up all night. And I don't know, I feel like I'm losing my hope, but I don't want that. And I'm putting all my hope into the appointment tomorrow to clear it and to finally, hopefully, tell me that everything will be fine, at least from that kind of perspective. Yeah, because it just... Even with my last pregnancy was perfectly healthy. There was never something that was off. Everything was always perfect. Everything measured always great. And even back then I remember being really anxious about the fact that something could happen. And I remember it so clearly, the moment that my son was born, I felt all that anxiety leaving my body. And you obviously get a different kind of anxiety, and I think it is completely normal. You think about your child a lot in the beginning. I thought that he could die any moment for some reason. I always was so concerned that he could stop breathing, that something could just happen. But I feel with him, because he's so happy and so healthy, and he's 17, 16 months now, and he's doing so great, I finally lost a bit of that anxiety, and now I feel it is all over happening again, and it is so much worse because there's so much where people are it could go wrong here, we're afraid that this or that might happen, and all of the things that have shown up so far are to a severity that if something comes off of it tomorrow, most likely there is no way for that child to live. So I don't know. I really have no idea. It's just, I've been trying not to read too much about it, but I'm also really afraid because in the beginning they were always the bleeding has stopped, but if you bleed again, you can lose this child. And now with this, they're well, we don't think that something is wrong, but if there's something wrong, it is very likely that that child will not make it to the due date, because it is probably so severe. And I just really hope that everything is going to be fine. But I just feel that stress so much. I cannot think about anything. I cannot eat. I cannot sleep. It's so much of me right now. And I feel I have great people around me, but for some reason I feel no one really can ease this right now, besides a somewhat positive
doctor's appointment tomorrow. So yeah, I don't know if I will film it. I don't know anything yet. I'm so relieved that this is tomorrow, but I'm also so terrified because I kind of feel like right now at least I don't know if there's something bad. So yeah, this is kind of like the state I've been in ever since Friday noon. And I've tried my best to kind of like take my mind off of it, but I just can't. So I'm just really happy that hopefully tomorrow this appointment will like bring me some sort of peace. But I really don't know. I feel like my only wish right now is for this baby to just be healthy. And even though I know that like these gene things, if there is something with the genes, or if there's like some sort of disability, I know that that isn't my fault, but it kind of feels like I failed this baby. And I just don't know where to put this pain right now. So I just really hope that the next time I will turn on this camera I have better news. Because it's just all too much for me right now. So yeah, I'm just gonna, I don't know what else to say. I'm just gonna leave it here. I'm gonna continue packing. My son is with his grandparents today, so that's at least something. He's there. I can pack, and then we will go to like my parents' house and just hope for the best. I really don't know where my mind is right now. So yeah, I just really hope that everything will be fine and that I will look back at this one day with a healthy and happy child.
I don't know how to start this, and I really don't know what to say or tell you. I think the last time that I told you was when I was heading to my hometown to like get all the tests done. And that was Tuesday last week, and today's Thursday, a week later. And the last week has been the hardest of my life, the last 2 weeks. So I went to my hometown and I had this appointment at this like specialty gynecologist, and she took a closer look at the ultrasound, and she said she can definitely see the like water within the neck that my gynecologist had talked about. And she also said that she could see fluids within the body, especially around the lungs. And she's like, she told me that we're having a daughter, and she said that there are like a couple of things she thinks are most likely up. She said an option is Turner syndrome, which is when the baby is missing an X chromosome, or like a trisomy of some kind. She said that like they're running tests for trisomy. Please don't pin me on that, but I think 13, 18, and 21 first, because that are the trisomies that generally have the best chances at life to get like all the results. She did an amniocentesis and also like a bit of the placenta, which basically means they like numb your stomach a little bit, but you can feel what's going on. They like take a syringe that's like a little bit bigger and they insert it through the stomach all the way to like the baby, which was the weirdest feeling, because she said that it's not going to hurt, and it didn't hurt, but she told me that you usually need a lot of pressure to get there, and that's kind of what happened. So it took her a couple of times of like pushing quite hard to get where she wanted to be, because you need to go through like all the layers, all the muscles, all the skin. So yeah, she took a little sample and then I was good to go. And she also told me to make an appointment with this like gene clinic. So basically all they do is they're very specialized in like doing all the gene tests. And then she also had like run a couple of tests in any case that I have had some sort of like sickness, illness that I didn't realize I had but passed on to the baby. And so a couple days later I had an appointment at the gene place, and I have to preface this by saying that the doctor basically told me she's very sure that it is Turner syndrome, because Turner syndrome is like the highest, like it's the gene chromosome thing with like the highest percentage. 3% of all pregnancies have it. It isn't related to any sort of age or anything. And she said that usually if you like lose a child within the first 3 months, it's usually that, because chances of life are really slim. And she said that like with the way that the baby has water all over the body and everything, she thinks that like chances at her making it all through the pregnancy and like having a shot at life are really, really slim. And so with that I went home. Also, I'm sorry, my son is playing with my husband in the back. I don't even know where I was. So yeah, I think like a couple days later we went to the gene test place. And I don't know if I said it, but like last week was the 1 week out of like all my husband's and I relationship where he had to be gone for like a work thing. So I had to go there by myself, and they kind of like explained how the chromosome things, how like one has a trisomy and how one has a monosomy, which basically means that there's like one chromosome missing. And he said that they like ran all the tests and that it isn't Turner syndrome, which I was very relieved because it was such a bad prognosis. And then he said it also wasn't trisomy 13, 18 or 21, and that chances that it is anything else are insanely slim, but they're going to like keep running all the tests. And just to know. And so I was kind of relieved, to be honest. And then the same day I had another appointment with the specialty gynecologist, and she just like took another ultrasound, and she's like, there's more water now than there was before, and there's a high chance, like if it isn't the gene thing, which chances were so slim, there's the possibility of like a heart issue, which can range from something very minor to something very major. And there is a chance of like several infections or whatever, and she's like, I'm gonna test it as much as I can. Oh, and the man at the like gene place, the doctor, who was so kind, he was like, well, if we get like a result from a test and it is negative, we will email it to you, but if we will find something, you will have to come in. And so on Monday my husband was scheduled to go to the gene place, because basically they were planning on doing a test where they would take my blood and then his blood and like compare our bloods with the bloods of the baby, because he said that like a lot of people do have a chromosome abnormality in one place or another, and like a lot of them aren't really harmful, like if it isn't a full trisomy but there's like a little extra piece or a little piece missing, then usually that's fine. And if we have something and the baby has it too, they assume that it is going to be fine because my husband and I are both healthy. And so yeah, he had this scheduled for Monday, and Monday was my dad's birthday, so we went to my hometown anyway, and he just was planning on like popping in there for a minute to get his blood drawn, and then like 2 hours prior the doctor called us and he was like, well, we found something, we would like you to come in. And I was so scared because I knew, basically at that moment I knew something was really, really wrong. And so we went in. I'm very glad that my son, he wasn't there at any of these appointments because I just didn't want him to have to go through whatever was going to happen. And so the man sat us down and he was like, well, as said, chances to find anything else are really, really slim, but there is always that chance. And our baby has like an insanely rare trisomy, which is trisomy 22. And he said that like he can tell us a little about it, but it is also so rare that no one really knows a whole lot about it. He basically said that babies with trisomy 22 usually don't make it through the first 3 months, and he said that like chances of making it, of like the baby being alive all throughout the pregnancy are less than 10%. And even then, like out of the couple of cases documented of babies with trisomy 22, the like oldest made it to like 3 years old. So life expectancy is 1 to 3 years old. But he had talked to the gynecologist and he said with the fact that like her whole body is basically covered in fluids, they think she also has a major heart deficiency. And so the chances that like her living are just insanely slim. He said even a child that doesn't have all of this and has trisomy 22, even that these children are most likely not able to walk or talk. And they basically said that if the baby made it like alive throughout the pregnancy, then they would need to do surgery right afterwards, and they just would have to hope for the best, but chances are just so slim. And so they basically said they cannot advise you to do anything, obviously, but they said that medically speaking, terminating the pregnancy is like the safest thing to do for everyone. And we didn't really know what to do because with our first son and with this child too, we didn't do all the like early testing of trisomy 21 because, as said, my husband works with people with a disability, and I think that this isn't a reason to not have a child, but I just have to say that the fact that this child will not have a minute of her life without suffering, I just cannot think about that, and I just don't want that for her. So we needed to like make the decision to terminate the pregnancy, which is what is going to happen tomorrow. And it's just the weirdest feeling to know that right now I'm pregnant and tomorrow I will not be. And our daughter will not have a shot at life. It's just, I don't know, I've been crying all week. I don't know if I just don't know. I feel like we're doing the right thing, but it's just so hard. Because it feels like we should plan like her room or whatever, not her funeral. But then
what we have to do. So yeah, that's what's going on. And so they like gave me the contact to a clinic close to my hometown because I had no idea what to do. I'd never given this any thought. Obviously I'm all pro-choice, but I personally could have never imagined doing this. So yeah, tonight my husband has to leave for work again in like an hour or so. And then I'm here with her son, and my in-laws are gonna come over and like take care of him until my husband's back from work tonight, because I have to drive back to my hometown because the appointment is so early tomorrow morning, and it is an like almost 2-hour drive from my hometown to like over an hour at least, so we have to leave so early. Yeah. We've also like made the decision, so there's like this whole law thing about pregnancy termination here, which basically you can have an abortion up to 12 weeks if you decide to do that. I think you have to talk to like a couple of doctors, but I'm at like 16 weeks almost, so it's only okay if like there's medical evidence, which there is all this medical evidence, but still there are all these rules, like you cannot bring anyone. They basically, whoever is there with you, they can drop you off at the door and they can pick you back up there, but you're not allowed to take anyone with you. And I get that because it could potentially, like, someone could be pressuring you into this, but I would just love to have my husband with me. But since he cannot come either way, we've decided that he would just stay home with our son tomorrow, because this is like so much for him already. And so yeah, my mom, my stepdad are going to like drive me there, pick me up and drive me home so that I can come back here, because basically they say that like what they're doing, it only takes like a couple of minutes, and so you will wake up like a couple hours later, and then usually you can just go home and like just, yeah. So that's the plan for tomorrow. And I just don't know what to do. I feel like even though we made the decision, it doesn't feel real at all. And it is so odd, because when I was pregnant with my son, at this time we didn't know anything. We like just went in for the regular ultrasound, everything was always fine, and we didn't know anything about him. And with this baby, we've like seen so many like high quality ultrasounds, seen like all of her. We know that it's a girl, we like have all of this planned, and it's just not going to happen. And like the doctors kept telling us that this is our last chance, and we're like young and we're both healthy, and chances of this happening again are extremely slim. But it's still, I know that some people will say like 16 weeks is barely a human, but like you have all of these plans and all of these hopes for your child even so early on. At least I do. And so it just feels so unreal. I don't know. And I feel so lucky at the same time that I have a child who is fully healthy, who is like he's so happy and healthy. And I feel like I failed my daughter because she's not. And I know it isn't my fault, but it kind of feels like it. No. I just don't know what to do. The only decision we have to make until like tomorrow morning is basically like about the funeral, which I cannot let my mind go there. It's just yeah. I don't know what to say. I don't know if I'll ever like watch this footage back. I don't know if I'll like ever put this anywhere. It's just for me to know that this was never an easy decision. So yeah, I don't know what else to say, because I just don't know what to feel or what to do. I feel like the whole last week I cannot focus on anything, I cannot do anything. You just I don't know. They said that there is the possibility that because they have to do an ultrasound tomorrow before like doing that there is a not so slim chance that she has already passed because of like how fast her body is filling up with like fluids. And there's just really nothing that they can do. So yeah. I just feel so helpless. It feels like I let my child down. I don't know what to do or what to say. Yeah, that's it. That's kind of all I got. So I guess I'll just have to see what tomorrow brings. I just wanted to like go by. And then I don't know. I feel like whatever has happened in my life so far, nothing compares to this.
like every bit I'm filming gets harder. I came out here because we're at my in-laws' house and I just wanted to have a moment of silence, even though no one is really here. So I filmed a little bit of yesterday, but not a lot because I don't know. So I'm just trying to like break this down to have like the whole story here. I was very afraid of yesterday because I felt like the day we made or had to make the decision, and yesterday would be the hardest 2 days, and it kind of was. So I went in really early in the morning. I didn't really sleep all night because the thing is, I was like 16 weeks pregnant yesterday, 16 and a little, I think. And while I hadn't like felt any kicks or anything, by the time the baby's kind of like up to your belly button, so you clearly feel it in your stomach. You clearly feel like it's just not as soft anymore. And I was just afraid because I knew that it would be gone soon, and with it would be my daughter. And so yeah, we went there and they like gave me some medicine, and it didn't really, they said a lot of people don't really react well to it, and I guess that is what happened to me because I started shaking uncontrollably basically. And I was so sick, and I was so cold, and I couldn't eat and drink all morning because you cannot do that when you're going in to like get surgery. And so yeah, I needed to do like a couple of talks. There was this thing, basically like the doctor talked to me beforehand, and just like she needed to make sure that this was like my decision and that this is what I wanted, and it's not. It was so weird because clearly this isn't what I want, but like clearly there's not really another solution, I guess. And so I just, yeah, we went on with it, and she just said that she like tried to read a little bit about like trisomy 22. Basically she had a book that I had stumbled upon online too, and it just said that like basically there are only like, I want to say 25 cases known of people like describing it before the baby was born, and then like 15 afterwards, and none of that children made it to like over 3 years. And then there's one case of like a boy somewhere who made it to 19, but he had like a different kind of it, and like, yeah, basically she said it is so severe that most children don't even make it that far. And so yeah, it just, I don't know. And they all say, all these doctors, like they kept telling us that we're young and we can't like have another baby, and chances of this happening are like 1 in a million or something. But I don't feel like that helps in any sort of way right now. But I get why they are saying it. And so basically I went in and I had this like moment right before I changed where I like realized that this was like the last moment, because the doctor told me that
And she said it to be very comforting, I guess. They were very kind there, but it just broke me because she said that, like, the moment that I will receive the narcotic thing, whatever it's called, whatever it is that, like, puts you under, that basically that's when the baby will, like, fall asleep and pass. And I just had this moment where I felt so deeply that I just hope, I don't know how to say this, I guess I just really hope that my daughter always felt, like, safe and good, because, I don't know, I just wish she could have been safe. And so, I don't know. And then I went in for surgery, and they basically only put me under for like half an hour. I walked there and I walked back myself. It was alright, but I just remember, like, the moment before I fell asleep. It just hit me that it was like my last moment with this baby. The sun is coming out now, which it hadn't come out all day, so I don't know. But yeah, other than that, all went well. We decided, I said we needed to decide about the burial, and we decided to have her buried in, like, there's this place where they have, like, basically a graveyard for angel babies. And it just seemed like a nice place for her to be. And so they do, like, every other week or so, I believe, they do, like, something there, like a little funeral for all the babies. And, like, you're free to come and go whenever you want. And, like, our daughter will not have her own grave, but be with, like, all the other children. So yeah, that's still pending, I guess. But I mean, we know she's going to go there. It just probably will take another couple of days. And then my mom drove me home. And, like, it was a really weird day yesterday because it was sunny, but then it all of a sudden started to pour. And then as we were, like, coming closer here, or, like, closer to home, there all of a sudden was this big rainbow. And I'm not, like, a particularly religious person, but I also don't believe that when you die you're just gone. And there are, like, a couple of people I've lost in my life who were really close to me, like my great-grandfather and then my godmother who I lived with for a little and who, like, passed very young. And I just, as I saw this rainbow, I had this thought that I just hope that wherever our daughter is now, that she's not alone. And that maybe she is with them. I don't know. that was just my thought. Yeah. Because I really hope that she's safe. It feels just, it's so odd because life just goes on. But it also feels like everything stopped. I just keep thinking about what if there's something I can do to like always have her close. Because she'll always like, of course she'll always have like a special place in my heart, but that just doesn't feel like I'm doing enough. I don't know, I at the end of the day, I cannot get over the feeling that I failed her. And I know that that isn't the case. Like, I get it from the fact standpoint, but emotionally, it just doesn't feel like it. Even though, like, the doctor yesterday, she said that, like, with the diagnosis and everything, she assumes that they would have to do all these surgeries right after her birth if she'd made it there, and that's a big if. And that basically her chances of like surviving all of that are even, it's just, there isn't really any chance. And I just wish there would have been one. But yeah, because I cannot change it now. It's just, this clearly was like the hardest decision I'd ever had to make in my life. And it just hurt so bad to know that we had to do this. And I just don't wish this upon anybody, because it's like the most painful thing I've ever had to go through. And I feel like I just feel like not a day will go by without me thinking about this. And like, yeah, it's just so weird and so painful. And I just hope she knows how much we love her. I just don't want her, I know this is silly because obviously, like, she's a baby, she doesn't understand, but like, I don't want her to feel like we've decided against her, because as painful as this is, I believe we decided what's best for her. At least I hope so. Because I wouldn't want her to like only be born and then having to be in the hospital for months and months on end just to pass away then. I don't think that that's like the life perspective you want for your child. So yeah, that's kind of it, I guess. I just want her to know that I will think about her every second of my life, probably, and that I'll always have her in my heart. Her name is Mathilda. Because I feel like she only had such a short time with us, but she like changed all our lives. I don't know if you're like up there seeing this or hearing this. But if you are, I just want you to know that I love you and that I will always love you. That I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. That's it, I guess. I don't want to stop recording this because I feel like that this chapter is over. It's so silly, but I feel like this SD card, it like has all the moments from the beginning of the pregnancy up until now, and I just wish would have come differently. I just wish that this would have ended with us being able to like hold her. But we can't. So we'll just hold her in our hearts forever.